Hey everybody, we're here in Lincoln, Nebraska in a game called American Truck Sim. I just bought a trailer and headed over here to pick it up. Then I'm going to run over to the shop and get it paint matched to my truck, or I'll paint my truck to match the trailer, one or the other. And we'll go find a job, so stick around and let's see what we can get up to. So stick around. What the fudge? That is not the same. That is not the same. Alright, whatever. I don't care anymore. Well, here we are, folks. We're in Nebraska. I'm getting super frustrated by the stupid paint job stuff because not every truck paint job is available for the trailer, and not every trailer paint job is available for the truck. So, whatever. This is stupid simple, but at least it matches. Now we're going to find a job. What a pain in the butt. Why can't they just have, hey, paint your truck and trailer at the same time so that you can get everything all done at once? But no, that's too difficult. You gotta paint the trailer and truck separately and then try to remember what the other paint job was called so you can match the one to the other. And what do? I start out by just cutting it short and damaging my trailer. Remember that movie Running Scared where the cops got a car from the carpool and it was painted to look like a taxi so they could do something undercover, and the guy that built the car was so proud of it because it was pristine, and the cops grabbed the car and they're like, it doesn't look like a real taxi, and he's like, what are you talking about, it's exact to every detail, and then he goes and crashes it and he's like, now it looks like a taxi. Well, that's what this is. Now it looks like a semi-trailer because it's got a dent in it. Like 2 seconds into buying it. But anyways, we are in Lincoln, Nebraska. We are gonna get a job done that discovers us another town in Nebraska. And we are gonna start working on our book report for my daughter. She bought me this book. I discussed it in the last video. Get up to the stoplight here and I'll tell you what it's called. It is called Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story, a Father's Guided Journal to Share His Life and His Love. Put out by Family Keepsake Journal. And I'm sure there's a publisher or something, but I've told you everything. You can look it up and find it. That's the book she bought me. It's got a bunch of questions to answer. It starts out with stuff like, what's your full given name? Which I'm not going to tell you. My name's Tom. It's like, what's your birthday? And I'm not going to tell you that because that's too identifiable. You know when you get stopped on the road and like stopped on the street and police are like, what's your name and what's your birthday? That's all they need to look you up. They can find your driver's license number, where you live, your picture, all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just not giving away my birthday ever. That's just too personal. So, sorry, not going to happen. Next question on page number 1, called It's Your Birthday. Were you named after a relative or someone else of significance? That is a little bit of a story. I asked my mom who I was named after because of my middle name is the same as one of my father's good friends, and so I just assumed I was named after him, which I was. But I was like, well, why wasn't that my first name? And we got this whole conversation. I actually had a conversation about who I was named after, so I'm sure of this. But I was like, where did the other first name come from? There was a distant friend that had the same name, and they told me that I was not named after that distant friend from another state. But I was actually, my first name was named after the doctor who delivered me, which I didn't know this was a thing. I guess that was a tradition in the past. You would name a baby after the doctor who delivered it. That's a little strange to me, but that's what my mother said, so that's what we're going with. So my doctor who delivered me must have been named Tom, Tommy, or Thomas, something. Thomas, I think, is a name that's going out of fashion for boys. You don't hear a lot of young people named Tom. It's all old guys. Which I'm fine with. I don't care to have a popular name, but just something I've noticed. You don't see kids that are introducing you to, or people that are introducing you to their kids. Oh, this is my son, Tommy. Just doesn't happen. People would rather name their kids Damien after the devil than name someone Tommy. But, you know, whatever. That's them. I'm me. I'm fine with it. I'm not angry. I'm not disappointed. Tommy is going the way of Bertha. It's never going to be used for young kids anymore. What city were you born? I won't say that. Place of birth for some reason just seems like too personal. I don't want people looking me up. I don't know. I don't care if you know who I am, but I don't want people looking me up in the public domain. Man, oh man. Do I have to turn left up here? I don't want to do that thing where I'm so focused on talking and reading that I don't watch where I'm going. If you've never played this game, or if you haven't played it for long, if you have played it and haven't played it for long, if you bought this game when it first came out, it was literally templates for cities, and every city looked the same. It just had the name of a popular city. So San Francisco might have looked like Las Vegas, and all the cities were kind of cookie cutters of each other. And there was like 2 or 3 templates, and every city had one of those 2 or 3 templates. Where now I'm so much happier with this product. It is way better now than it used to be. The cities actually have the roads named after the actual city roads. They're in the right configuration for real life, so it's actually pretty cool. I used to have a mod called Coast to Coast on here because you kind of needed it to be able to drive long distances because the game was so small. It's just California and Nevada, I think, to start with. And so I had this Coast to Coast mod, and I was posting videos, and I'm like, oh, here's a drive from New York to Tuscaloosa. And some guy commented, he's like, that's not Tuscaloosa. I'm like, yeah, trying to explain how mods work and how the game wasn't real life. It's just a game, dude. So I explained to him that, you know, they're working across the map. They'll get there eventually. It was like Tuscaloosa, Alabama, right? So I'm like, they'll get to Alabama eventually, but it's just going to be a while. Here we are like 6 years later, and we're in Nebraska. Missouri's going to be next, and then Iowa, and then, what was the next one? Iowa, Arkansas. One of these days, they're going to get to Illinois. That's my home state. So that'll be cool. Now every car is going to stop until I go. This is an AI glitch where every AI car stops if you pull out too far. And then the cars start backing up, and then it never clears. Oh, your cargo is ready to be loaded. Proceed to the loading area. I gotta remember I got a trailer this time, so this time I'm gonna have to like back into a dock or something, and they're gonna load the trailer while time passes. Oh boy. The higher up you go in skill level on this game, the harder the parking jobs get. Okay, whatever. Why would they ever... If they have to load me through the back doors of a trailer, why would they ever put me between these posts? It is a challenge to get in there, but... Like, why? Hold on, we'll get in here. I'm just showing you how skillful of a driver I am. Trying to figure out how to get in and out of this little tight dock they got me parking. We'll go right till the shadows touch. That should give us plenty of time, plenty of space. Because I know the shadow's not hitting the building, so I got space to just pull it through the shadow and stop. The only thing SCS is missing as far as I'm concerned right now, which is a big miss, is dirt on the trucks. Trucks should be able to get dirty. Last update had a improvement on the dust and dirt that flies around in the air, the particles. Well, they should be able to get them to stick to the trucks now. Length and weight. And then we got, were you born in a hospital? If not, where? Yes, I was born in a hospital. My dad was actually born out in the middle of the woods on a farm, but I was born in a hospital. Alright, let's get going. Short drive, 137 miles. I don't know how much we're going to get through in 2 hours and 32 minutes. In case you're wondering, there is a little equation that I figured out on my own. If you're going 65 miles an hour, it takes 3 real-life minutes to drive 1 hour in the game. So 2 hours and 31 minutes is 6 minutes plus another half, 7.5 minutes. Going 65, I can't really go 65 all the time because I got to speed up and slow down, and it's just too hard to average 65. But If you're on the move, on the highway, doing 65, you can kind of guess how long your trip is going to be in the real life world. Real world life. Let's see. I was born in the hospital. Where else we got? Alright, the next part. What were your first words? I have no idea. I probably should have called my mom and asked her to be on the video, but... My first words? No clue. But now I'll know to ask, and maybe I'll remember to mention it next time if I ever find out. How old were you when you started to walk? All these questions I have no idea the answer to. How old were your parents when you were born? Let's see, 27? If they hadn't turned 27 yet, they would have turned 27 the year that I was born. Because one was born after my birth, or one has a birthday after my birthday. And one has a birthday before my birthday on the calendar, so... One was 27 and one was 26, getting ready to turn 27. And I was the third of 4 kids. And my oldest sister was... No, she was 7 years older than me. So my parents started having kids at 20, had me at 27, and then my youngest brother was born when they were 31. So super exciting stuff, huh? How did your parents describe you as a baby? I don't know, baby-like? Very immature? Couldn't hold a conversation for anything? Cried a lot? Ate a lot? Pooped a lot? I don't know. Never really thought to ask my parents what I was like as a baby. Maybe the questions will get better on page 2. Look at that, we've already been driving for 45 minutes. I haven't even made it up to 65 miles an hour yet. I don't think. Oh, can I get over? Let me over. Let me over. Scots everywhere are going to be so proud of me for obeying Scots law. What stories have you been told about the day you were born? My goodness, I don't have any answers to any of these questions. What stories have I been told about the day I was born? I did tell these stories to my kids, or at least have them reserved. Maybe I told them in a video. One video each for the day they were born, but I haven't been told anything about the day I was born. I'm gonna have to take this book down there with me the next time I go see my parents. They live a few hours away. I have to interview them to answer the questions. Alright, this is the question I saw coming. What is your favorite childhood memory? I got a lot of memories from my childhood. I don't know which one's my favorite because I had a pretty happy childhood, you know, but I figured I would just speak freely and talk about stuff I remember from my childhood. We grew up in a double wide, well, when I was born, we were living in a double wide trailer next to a church. A lot of my memories revolve around that house. There was a big garden. I want to say the piece of property was like 2 acres. It wasn't in a trailer park, it was just on 2 acres, and a big part of it was a garden that my dad maintained. I remember sitting on the porch. My grandma lived with us for a while when I was a kid living down there. So sitting on the porch when they were like, I don't know what they were doing with green beans. They would have big colanders of green beans, cutting them or opening them or something. Maybe it was green peas. But they would always be doing something with the vegetables from the garden. Like my first memory of there being a frog on the porch, and it scared me when I went outside because I didn't know what it was. There was a big hill on the side of the yard that went down to like a little side road, so we used to roll down that thing. You know how you lay down at the top of the hill and just roll down the hill? That was a big thing. The yard was big enough where we could play wiffle ball. I remember playing wiffle ball in that yard. And then since my dad's a preacher, we would always walk over to the church every Sunday for services and Wednesday nights. I remember vomiting in church once. That was exciting. I don't know what happened, but I was sick and I was telling my dad and he didn't believe me, and he thought I was just pretending to be sick so I could stay home and watch TV. So I got taken to church that night and I puked all over the center aisle leading up from the door to the pulpit. Sick right in the carpet. He's like, oh, I guess he wasn't just faking it. So I got to go home that night. Got to miss church that day. We had there was a time when we had some jungle gyms in our yard. Like you would see in a playground. I don't know if you see them in a playground today, but you'd see them in a playground at the time. Oh, I gotta get over. We had these 2 jungle gyms in our yard, and my brother and sister used to sit on the top one on the top of each, and then throw a ball back and forth. And there was a time when the ball, I don't know who missed it, but the ball fell to the ground, and I was there to get it and toss it back up to them so they could continue playing catch. So the ball fell and went under one of the not monkey bars, but like jungle gym things. And so I went under there to grab it and throw the ball back up to them. But as I was crawling under it, like our dog came up behind me and like barked real loud and scared me. So I lifted up my head and I cut my head really bad on one of the rusty bolts from this jungle gym. So I remember going to the hospital to get stitches, and I remember the anesthesia, where they put the thing over your face and tell you to count backwards from 10. I should say that's why I'm bald now. Yeah, it's those stitches. The hair won't grow. That's what it was. It was so funny because when I came home, I don't know if this is good or bad to say, but the dog had been hit by a car. We'll just say that. That's the story I was told, that the dog had been hit by a car. And being a father myself, I wouldn't be surprised if that was just a cover story. But I don't know. I was told that the dog got hit by a car. I would imagine there were plenty of witnesses to tell everybody what happened to me, how I got cut, and how the dog was the one who startled me. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We lived in that house till I was 7.5. Then we moved to Missouri to live closer to my grandpa for like a year. So I don't want to tell stories from that location. That could be a different video altogether, but... Oh, that's another memory from my childhood. There was a state route that the church was on, and then our house was like a half a block behind the church. It was like behind the church, but it faced the house like faced the other street a block away from the state route. And like just down the road on the state route, there was a bar. And I remember I had a friend named Jason that lived in the little neighborhood where we lived, by the church. There was a little neighborhood by the church. And he lived in the neighborhood. So I don't know if my mom was babysitting him or if we were just hanging out as friends, doing whatever. But we wanted to ask his dad something. I forget what we had to go there for, but we had to find his dad to ask him something so Jason could ask permission to do something. And he knew that his dad was at the bar. So I don't think I've ever told anybody this story before in my life. But we knew his dad was at the bar, so me and him being kids, and remember I moved away from there when I was 7, so the oldest I could have been was 7. We go to this bar looking for his dad. We find his dad sitting at the bar. And everyone's being kind of cool. Someone bought us a pack of gum to split. And then someone's like, here, are you thirsty? Try this. And I remember drinking it, and it was like, well, now I know it was some sort of shot of liquor. Someone gave me this drink, and I just drank it from this little, tiny little shot glass. And it was like, what liquor tastes like. It's harsh and bitter, and I made a face or something, and everybody in the bar started laughing. They thought it was hilarious. Then we took our gum and we went on our way. I don't remember what we did the rest of the day. Obviously, I must have been a little intoxicated, probably. But I think I'm pretty sure his name was Jason. Jason's dad gave me my first drink when I was 7. I didn't know what it was. Don't tell the cops. I'm just a kid being stupid. Could you imagine? I mean, I'm sure that happens everywhere and every place in the 70s, but that's my story. My first shot when I was 7. That was my only shot of alcohol until I was of legal drinking age. I didn't drink until I was 22, probably. I never told anybody that story. Oh, clear it, please. Thank you. I guess that's going to be the highlight of the video. Drinking a shot of whiskey or something at the age of 7. There you go. Heather and Savannah can enjoy that story. They probably won't hear it till I'm dead and be like, what the hell? And I remember Jason's last name, but I don't want to say it. I don't want to get him in trouble. I should probably look him up on Facebook. I never thought of that before. He probably wouldn't remember who I am, but I remember him. I'll tell you the kind of kid I was. We would be on the floor playing with Hot Wheel cars, and just the floor of our double wide trailer there. Oh no, not Hot Wheels. It was maybe Cops and Robbers or something. That's the point I was trying to make. Like, if I shot Jason, like, pretend, playing cops and robbers, I would tell him that he wasn't allowed to breathe because I could see his stomach moving. Like, that's the kind of kid I was. Like, you can't, you're breathing, you can't breathe, you're dead. I just remember one time yelling at him because he was breathing when he was pretending to be dead. Anyways, let's see if we can get this thing. I'm just going to hop out. I hate backing up inside the truck. Like, in a real car, I could back up a trailer, no problem, but inside this game, it is annoying how small those mirrors are. In the real world, there wouldn't be lines on the pavement, and I would just back up and it would be done. But because there's lines, just like I said in the last video, gotta be perfect. Whatever. That's where they want me, that's where they get me. I'm Old Guy Gamer. This is American Truck Sim. I don't know what we're going to do the next time, but it'll probably be more of this book, just because it's easy stuff to talk about, plus it'll give me a topic and a theme to do a few videos in a row on. So come back next time, see what we find to talk about, and maybe I'll run with this trailer for a little bit just because it is so plain looking. It's different from what I normally do, where I pick up a new trailer every single time. So I'll see you guys next time. You guys go watch some more videos, I'll go play some more games. Seriously? The 1 second that I'm actually recording something. Alright, you guys go watch some more videos, I'll go play some more games. Bye.